We're out here at Dixie High School, home of the Flyers, visiting with Coach Tyler Roberts, head coach of the boys basketball varsity. Coach, thanks for your time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Let's jump right in and get to it. Get to know you a little bit better. What do you want us to know about Tyler Roberts, the man, the coach, the dad, the myth, the legend?
Well, this is 14th year coaching here at Dixie High. I actually played basketball here, graduated in 96.
Were you any good?
No, not as good as these kids are nowadays.
Okay. You started at least, though, I got to believe.
That's right, I did. And I had a great time here. We actually lost in the state championship my senior year against Lehigh. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, it's one of those things that you never want to fill, right? I mean, losing in a state championship game is, obviously it was fun getting there, but at the same time there was some unfinished business, and that led me back here a little bit. But
okay.
I just married, have 3 kids, and a daughter that just graduated from Dixie High, and a son that's going to be a sophomore this year.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Basketball player, so that'll be kind of fun coaching him.
It's going by fast.
That's right. And then a 10-year-old daughter.
Okay. Looking back on the whole scheme of things, good decision to get into coaching. Would you change anything?
It's been a great decision. You know, I've loved it. You know, growing up, I played tennis and basketball. I went to Utah State for 2 years and played tennis up there. And then I went to transfer to UNLV and played 2 years of tennis down at UNLV. Basketball was always my love. Tennis paid for my schooling. And then, you know, getting into coaching, I was playing a lot of basketball even after college. Had an injury to my foot, and they basically said, hey, you're not going to be able to play again. At that same time is when Ryan Cuff put in for the job and got the job. And anyways, the rest is kind of history. We had an interview, and he hired me as his assistant that day.
Okay. Talk about the Flyers. What have you got? What do you need? What's going on?
Right, yeah. I mean, it's different every single year. This year, a little bit different than last year. I had, 8, 9 seniors that played last year, and a team that had been together since like 3rd or 4th grade playing together. This year we have some move-ins. We have some young guys. It's going to be a lot of detail of coaching and trying to get them all on the same page and be able to play together. But have a young and exciting team that really athletic team. We're actually bigger probably than we've ever been. We've got a really big lineup this year.
Okay. Let's flip the script a little bit here and talk about officials and officiating. When I say the words official or referee, what comes to mind immediately? What are your thoughts, feelings?
My feelings would be, I think that's a tough job. First thing that I think of is I'm glad it's not me. I'd rather coach than officiate.
Have you officiated before?
I have, yeah. We've done some scrimmages and some pickup stuff, and I've used to help with the youth, the youth league and that kind of stuff. So I've seen my fair share of officiating, but also I know it's a tough job, and that's why you wear stripes, I guess, because half the time somebody thinks you're right, and half the time somebody thinks you're wrong. So
half the time somebody ain't got a clue.
That's right. So it's a tough one.
Okay. Specifically on game day, as a referee, as an official, I know that I've got a game that night, obviously. I know the school I'm going to. I know the fans, how they react. I know the teams that are playing. I know the history and the coaches and their personalities. I know whether I'm excited about that game, or I know whether or not I'm sort of looking at bigger and better things down the road. Talk to me about your game day, and where do officials come into that mix?
Yeah, I mean, obviously game days are what we look forward to, right? All the time and preparation for coaches and players have hopefully already been put in, all the scouting and that. So I think game days are a day where you're excited. I like to get my players together. We actually eat lunch every day together for, game days, which I love seeing them, making sure their minds are ready on the game. And I think that's what's exciting. Obviously, if it's preseason or if it's region or if it's a state game, like whatever it is, game days are just the excitement's in the air. Obviously, the players are nervous, they're excited. Coaches, a little bit of the same. I think if you're prepared, then you just go in and you just give it the best you can and hope for the best.
What about the officials, the referees coming that night? Any concerns with whether they're going to show up, going to be on time, how they look, how they behave before the game? What are your do's and don'ts?
I usually don't pay too much attention, honestly, to who I have and who I don't have. Obviously, when I do see them, I can, you kind of have an idea of maybe a way the game's going to flow, or whether it's going to be called a little tighter, whether it's going to be, more physical or whatever it may be. You can kind of read into that a little bit, but I think for the most part, we can't play the game without the officials, and they always do a great job, and they always look professional, and I think they want what's best for everybody as well.
Okay, so now we're in the gym, pre-game's out of the way, and we've eventually got to toss it up and start the thing, right? So as the game gets underway, our philosophy as officials is to keep you focused on your players, keep you focused on the game as much as possible, so that when we do have to interact with you, we want to be very clear, very concise, and very direct in giving you the information you need and getting you back to coaching, which is what you do best. What are your thoughts? What are your approaches to dealing with officials during the game after we tip it off?
I think there is a fine line, because we have to do our job and coach, and they have to do their job, officiating. So we can't necessarily complain or ask a question every single possession, because it's game management. That's ultimately, I think, an official's job is game management and keeping coaches coaching. And I would say that if there is, a certain call that maybe a coach disagrees with, an official may be able to come over and have that conversation. Some coaches, obviously, we just want to be heard too. But also, I think, too, as a coach, the players have to know that we have their backs, because in practice and before the season, we talk to our players, about talking to officials. We can't get upset over every single call that's made. Even if they agree or disagree, they have to just take it, and we move on to the next play. And as coaches, I think the players have to know that we have their backs, so that sometimes we may ask, an official, hey, what'd you have there? And then just that consistency that we ask for on the other end of the floor.
Okay. Well, I'll be so bold as to go on the record and acknowledge that I've missed some calls from time to time and working for you. When an official obviously misses a call, what are your thoughts, reaction? What do you expect to happen? Because I've done it.
Yeah, right. I think that's tough too, because us as coaches, we're going to make mistakes too. I think we have to be open that they're trying to call the game the best they can, and they will make mistakes. You just hope that they even out, right? That's the whole goal, is that they might miss one on the other end. So I think they'll even out towards the course of the game. But I think the ultimate goal is everybody's just trying to do their job and do it right.
What are your hot buttons?
Ooh.
What don't you like with officials?
I would say, I don't have any problems with officials. Honestly, I think sometimes coaches also will take out some of their frustration on an official when it maybe should be directed towards a player, if that makes any sense.
It does.
I don't know, that's probably fair. But I guess if an official had multiple calls in a row maybe that went against them, that would probably frustrate me, and I'd want to talk for a minute and be able to try to make sure that we are on the same page. And
at least vent it out.
That's right.
Okay. Your point of view, if we had all the officials together in a room, what would you tell us as a group so that we can be better?
I would probably just, obviously, I think you guys do an amazing job. I don't think it's a very easy job as well. I would probably just continue to preach being consistent, whether that's an individual from game to game, being consistent on how you're going to call the game. And then I think as a group, everybody needs to try to be consistent on game to game. So meaning that it shouldn't matter which official we have, on a Wednesday night and a Friday night. If everybody's on the same page, that we know hand checks are going to be called more so, or they're going to let some things go in the post. So meaning consistency throughout the whole group. That's probably what I would try to emphasize.
Very good. Final thoughts? What haven't we talked about? What do you want us to get in there?
I've already kind of said how much again, we can't play this game, this great game of basketball. Again, we're with these young men and trying to teach them life lessons, right, through basketball. And ultimately, a lot of these kids won't go on and play, college. So I think we're just looking, for a good experience. And us as coaches and officials, sometimes we need to step back and take a look and realize that it is about them. And, again, we can't do this without you guys, so we appreciate the time and efforts that you guys put in to be good and to be at your best.
Last question, maybe an unfair one. What do you got for me? What can I do to be a better official for you?
Well, that's a tough one. I don't know.
Why we get the money is to ask the tough questions.
Right. No, I think our, I don't know if older officials is the word or not, but I think they all do a great job, and they're still around the game because they've had so much experience and they've had, I think, a lot of fun doing it. I am glad that we went 3-man because it allowed some of our older officials to keep officiating.
Absolutely.
And honestly, if we would have lost those guys back, a while ago before we went to 3-man, it would have been a little rougher, right? And I think we should just be thankful that we have you guys and some of the older guys that are still around, that they're able to continue to officiate. So I know that's not directed towards you, but you are a little on the older side.
Absolutely,
but also
I am. I'm proud of it, too. Don't worry about getting old. Just hope you do, Coach.
Right, but that's my point, is that we just appreciate you guys continuing to do what you guys love, too.
Very good. Thanks for your time.